Comedians have come and gone, and some have been forgotten, and others we can't get out of our heads. But often it's because they were both loved and hated. Such was the case with Bernard Manning, one of Britain's most controversial comedians. Facts vs. UK presents Bernard Manning wrote his own obituary 4 months before his death. Bernard Manning's early life and career. Bernard Manning, the iconic British comedian known for his controversial and often polarizing humor, had a personal life as colorful and complex as his on-stage persona. Born August 13, 1930, in Manchester, England, he grew up in a working-class family in the tough neighborhood of Ancoats, which had a significant influence on his comedy style and outlook on life. Manning's early life was marked by adversity and hardship. He was raised in a close-knit, traditional Catholic family, attending a local Catholic school. His education was basic, and he left school at age 14 to help support his family financially, working in his father's greengrocer shop. This early experience of economic struggle and limited formal education became a recurring theme in his comedy. He also served in the British Army as part of the National Service, which was mandatory at the time. He later joked that as part of his service, he guarded several Nazi officers. After leaving the military, he decided to pursue a career in entertainment. He started as a singer, performing in local clubs and pubs, but soon realized his passion lay in making people laugh. His comedy was rooted in the working-class culture of Manchester, and he quickly gained a reputation for his blunt, no-holds-barred style of humor. Manning's early career in comedy wasn't without challenges. He faced criticism and backlash for his often controversial jokes, which touched on sensitive topics such as race, religion, and ethnicity. While he grew up in a homogeneous Britain, he also experienced the final days of the British Empire and witnessed the first waves of immigration, which was the beginning of the multicultural Britain we now know. But of course, this Britain wasn't welcomed by all, and many new immigrants faced racism. Many comedians, on stage, in cinema, and on television, made jokes about these new peoples and their cultures. Bernard Manning was one of the pioneers of this type of controversial humor. Despite the controversy, Manning remained unapologetic, defending his right to free speech and his belief that humor should have no boundaries. This uncompromising attitude became a defining characteristic of his career. In the 1960s, Manning began to gain national recognition as a comedian. He made appearances on television variety shows and began touring the country, performing to packed audiences in theaters and clubs. His comedy resonated with many working-class Britons who saw him as a reflection of their own lives and struggles. While his public persona was that of a brash and often offensive comedian, in his personal life he was known to be a loyal and generous friend. He had a close-knit group of friends and was particularly devoted to his family. He married his wife, Veronica, in 1956, and they had 2 children together. Despite the controversies surrounding his comedy, those who knew him personally often described him as a warm and caring person. Achievements and reception. Bernard Manning has left an unparalleled legacy on comedy, with a career defined by both remarkable achievements and significant controversies. Longevity in comedy. One of his most significant career achievements was his remarkable longevity in the world of comedy. He began his career as a comedian in the 1950s and continued performing for over 5 decades until his passing in 2007. This enduring presence in the comedy scene is a testament to his talent and ability to evolve with the times. While tastes changed, he was always in demand. Today, anyone can get canceled and have their careers come to an end, in theory. Yet such was never the case for Bernard Manning. Popular stand-up shows. Manning gained widespread popularity for his live stand-up comedy shows. He performed to packed theaters and clubs across the UK, earning a dedicated following among working-class audiences. His shows were known for raucous humor and his fearless approach to taboo subjects. Television appearances. Manning's career reached new heights when he made numerous appearances on British television. He appeared on popular variety and talk shows, including The Comedians and The Wheel Tappers and Shunters Social Club, which exposed him to a broader audience. These TV appearances solidified his status as a household name. No doubt these TV appearances became less. We may likely not have seen him on today's popular UK podcasts or independent TV shows. As tastes changed, he remained popular in niche areas. Club ownership. Beyond performing, Manning also ventured into club ownership. He owned the Embassy Club in Manchester, which became a famous venue for comedy. Under his stewardship, the club hosted numerous well-known comedians and played a pivotal role in the growth of the stand-up comedy scene. Recording success. Manning released several comedy albums, many of which achieved commercial success. His albums, like An Evening with Bernard Manning, captured his unique style and unapologetic humor. Offensive jokes. Perhaps the most prominent controversy surrounding Bernard Manning was his frequent use of offensive and racially insensitive jokes. He was known for pushing boundaries and often made jokes deemed offensive, especially by contemporary standards. Critics accused him of perpetuating racism and bigotry through his humor. Impact on his reputation. His controversies undoubtedly had a lasting impact on his reputation. While some saw him as a fearless comic who challenged political correctness, others saw him as a divisive figure who used humor to perpetuate harmful stereotypes and prejudices. Bernard Manning wrote his own obituary 4 months before his death. Bernard Manning's death, June 18, 2007, marked the end of an era in British comedy. For some, it was a sad ending. For others, it was something they didn't want to commemorate. He made headlines for an unusual and somewhat prophetic act before his passing, writing his own obituary 4 months before he died. In the final years of his life, his health began to decline. He was no stranger to health issues, having battled a heart condition for some time. Aware of his mortality, he decided to take control of his own narrative, and he crafted his obituary. His decision was a reflection of his lifelong penchant for controversy and a desire to have the last word, even in death. Throughout his career, but especially towards the end of his life, he defended his style of humor, especially his jokes that poked fun at different races and ethnic groups. He often stated that those who wanted to constantly use the word racist to describe him and other similar comics had an agenda and just couldn't take a laugh. And eventually, after he died, his version was not the only obituary published. Many of his obituaries also shed light on his personal life. He spoke lovingly of his family, acknowledging the support of his wife, Veronica, and his children. He expressed gratitude for the opportunities his career had afforded him, recognizing that he had achieved success beyond his wildest dreams. Coming from a humble background in Manchester, many of his friends defended him, including an Indian family who lived next door, who stated he was very kind and that his jokes were just that, jokes. Throughout his long career, Manning extended his gratitude to his loyal fans who had supported him throughout his decades-long career. He recognized the working-class audience that had embraced his brand of comedy. He realized he was a king of controversy, and it was only due to those who were willing to defend him that his career lasted and that he never got canceled. He eventually died from kidney failure. His death marked the end of an era, leaving a legacy that continues to spark debate and discussion about the limits of humor and the role of comedians in society. In the end, Manning's decision to write his own obituary was a fitting conclusion to a career marked by audacity and a determination to push boundaries. Now it's time to hear from you. Are you a fan of Bernard Manning? He surely had a controversial career, and his humor wasn't for everyone. Do you think audiences are willing to hear politically incorrect comedy today? Or would someone like Bernard Manning be even more controversial if he began his career in today's climate? Let us know in the comments section below.